Go blue. Man. Kicking off the New Year's. I thought would have been more exciting, more, breathtaking, more, new opportunities, new goals. This New Year's is a little bit disappointing. What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another sports video. As you all know, I'm a big Michigan fan. I like anything Michigan, but I mainly root for two sports, and that's basketball and football. Saturday, our season in general has come to an end again in the bowl game. Again, in the college football playoffs, we have now lost 6 straight bowl games in a row. And I would say out of all those bowl games, even last year, our first time in the college football playoffs, this year has to be more heartbreaking than the rest. And I say that because 2016, we didn't really have all our pieces. That was heartbreaking too. We lost by 1 point to a team we should have beat, but we didn't have all our key pieces. 2017, we really didn't have a quarterback. Same thing for 2018. Well, we had Shea Patterson for 18-19, so I'll take that back. Lost to 2 SEC opponents with Shea Patterson. Then 2020 came around. Worst disappointing season ever in the Jim Harbaugh era. 2021, things was looking up. Beat Ohio State for the first time since 2011. Won our outright Big Ten championship since 2004. And first time making it to the college football playoffs, where we ultimately lost to Georgia. But, we made it. Some things to be looking up for. And then came this year. J.J. McCarthy at the helm. He beat out Cade McNamara. He just kept winning. And this is his first time as a starter in Michigan history that he has lost. He beat Michigan State, Ohio State. I think he was the first player to do that since maybe Chad Henne or Brian Griese or Tom Brady. He was one of those. The first QB to beat Ohio State at home, I think that was like Tom Brady, if I'm not mistaken, or Brian Griese. It's one of those since 2000. I want to say it was Tom Brady. 13-0 in program history, which is really, as a Michigan fan, we're used to being on top But we did go through the Brady Hoke era and Rich Rodriguez era. So the fact that we was 13-0 for the first time in program history, it's like, wow. But things was looking up. College football playoff number 2 again. And what a disappointing way to end our season. No discredits TCU. TCU beat us fair and square. TCU capitalized off mistakes where we didn't. TCU capitalized off our mistakes, which they turned it into points, touchdowns, whereas we only turned it into field goals and a fumble lost. So they turned it, so I ain't gonna say they came to play, because we came to play too. It was a back and forth game. We found ourselves down by 17 one time. Then we clawed back in, found ourselves down by 3. Found ourselves down by 18 again. Climb back in, we're down by 3. And it's just, this team has some fight in it. I could say this team fought. This new generation of Wolverines are fighting. And that's the most I could say, because if this was years prior, 2010, not 2010, but 2017, 18, 19, we never fought. When we found ourselves down by 18 points, we gave up. It was already over in our head. Whereas 21 and 22, we fight. We found ourselves down only 3 points to Rutgers, but we fought back. And we outscored them to win 52-17. We fought against Ohio State for the past 2 years, something that a previous team never did. We fought. And this year, like, it should have been an outright birth of the national championship. We should have been in. We should have been in the national championship. I just don't see, even though I know how that game unfolded, I just don't see how we let that slip away from us. I just don't see it. I can replay, I can watch highlights. From the very first play, Donovan Edwards broke for a 56-yard run that could have easily went to the house. Things were looking up. But we gave the momentum away when, I don't know, why do we as a fan of Michigan go through this? I don't know why we change our game plan. Our game plan is to run, and if we have to pass, we'll pass. Why on the first drive, 4th and goal, instead of just quarterback running or quarterback sneaking it, why did we attempt a Philly special? We never attempted a Philly special the whole 13 games we have played. Not even against Ohio State. Why will we attempt a Philly special in the college football playoff game for a chance to go to a national championship? Why was that in our playbook? We're not a trick team. I would expect that from TCU because we have a great defense. I would expect that from Purdue. Purdue has 30 trick plays in their arsenal. 30. I would expect that from any team, not us. We gave up close to 500 yards, which is, I'm not going to harp too much on that because TCU is a great offense. They are like top 5 when it comes to big plays And everybody in the college football playoff gave up more than 400, 500 yards. So I'm not worried about that. We knew it was going to be a dogfight. But why on earth was we not using J.J. McCarthy's legs? Yes, they were stopping us. But every time he ran, they didn't stop him. They wasn't expecting JJ to run because they were saying in the press conference he got to beat us by his arm. They know he can run, but they just like he don't take off. We had that game in the bag even when we was down 21-3. And I know that might sound like delusional, but hear me out. We clawed back. We was down 21-6. Going into halftime. Coming out, it's 21-9. Because we got a turnover. So 21-9. We got another stop. 21-16. Then they went down the field 28. Then we threw another pick six. The pick sixes is what really was the definition of the game. Even with one pick six, we win by 1 point. It would have been 45-44. With two pick sixes, it would have been 37-45 off the board. With two pick sixes off the board. If they grant us that touchdown when Roman Wilson was clearly in the end zone and he had possession once he got into the end zone, add 7 more points on the 45, and it's 52-51. We win. Either way, those was the defining moments of the game, and I knew they was going to come and bite us back on the butt. I just knew it. We got a turnover. It was 14-3 then. We got a huge clutch turnover. JJ winded it up and threw it behind 2 defenders to Roman Wilson. Touchdown. They said it's at the 1 yard line. How in the world do we have the greatest technology to ever expand in college football history where we got all types of angles and y'all couldn't make that a touchdown? How is it conclusive enough for y'all that it was at the 1 yard line? He didn't have possession at the 1 yard line. The ball was still moving around. Once he had possession, in football, yes. In college football, it's not like the NFL. In the NFL, you can fall at the 1 yard line and roll into the end zone if you're not touched. But for college football, when you're down, you're down. But the thing I'm trying to make is, yes, technically his butt hit at the 1 yard line, but the ball was still moving. He didn't have possession. That's just like if you're going out of bounds and the ball is still moving, even though it's in your grasp, the ball is still moving. You didn't get possession until you got out of bounds. He didn't get possession. The ball's still moving. He's rolling on his back. He didn't get possession until he's in the end zone. How is that inconclusive enough? How is that conclusive enough for y'all to determine that's not a touchdown? By rule, as an official, if you don't have conclusive enough evidence, meaning if you can't tell if that's a touchdown or not, you leave it as called. That's not your job to say, well, I don't think he had it. Maybe he did, but I can't tell. But since we believe he didn't have it, that's not a touchdown. You can't go in with but. You can't go in with beliefs. You have to clearly know. How is it that that's a touchdown? How is that's not a touchdown? 7 points right there. Like I said, add that 7 points on. Add that 7 points on. It's 52-51. 51, we win. Either way, take away the 1 pick six, we win. Take away 2 pick sixes, we win. Give us that touchdown, we win. Why would y'all take that away from us? And we lost the ball at the 1 yard line because of that. Now, again, we could have quarterback sneaked it, so that's kind of our fault. But at the same time, how dare you take away our touchdown? The very end of the game, before they said it was TCU ball, that was a targeting call. If y'all know what targeting is what this says. If you lead with the crown of the helmet, no matter if it's right here or face mask, if you hit any defenseless player in the head, neck area, that's targeting with forcible contact. I remember it was 2017. I remember Khalil Hudson, whatever his name is, number 7 for Michigan. I remember because his face mask hit another face mask, and it wasn't even forcible. They said that was targeted, and he was kicked out the game. He was kicked out the game. You know, you have a helmet. So either way, your face mask is going to clink. You can't get away from that. It just is what it is. But when you clearly see that replay, fast forward 5 years, 2022, you see that replay. He's going down. He made forcible contact with the back of his neck, and it jerked. That's the whole definition of targeting. He speared him. That's targeting. That should have been 15-yard penalty, another first down. We could have made some stuff happen. No timeouts. That's all we need, because in college football, if you get a first down, the clock stops for a minute until you're lined up. So my point I'm trying to make is we really beat ourselves, but at the same time, the refs had something to do with it. As I watched the next college football playoff, Georgia against Ohio State, Ohio State had that one. Marvin Harrison got hit in the head, targeting. He was out cold. He couldn't move. He had a concussion. There's no targeting. And they had to settle for a field goal instead of having a clear advantage at that. Had to settle for a field goal, which was the ultimate turning point of that game. Congratulations to Georgia and TCU. Y'all took advantage. When the clocks hit triple zeros, you have more points. But everybody loves to talk about the Big Ten. We're soft. But that Big Ten team had Georgia down by more than 14 points throughout the whole game. And because of that one call with Marvin Harrison Jr., they had to settle for field goals. They took Marvin Harrison Jr. out the game. If he would have stayed in the game, they would have lost. Granted, I didn't want Ohio State to make it anyway because we didn't make it. But the point I'm trying to make is it's 2 crucial plays. 2 targetings in the Roman Wilson that changed the outcome of those 2 games. It changed the outcome. And 2 Big Ten teams got sent home because of some BS that we put into the hands of the refs. And like JJ said, we're going to be back next year. I don't care about all the rumors that's going around now. You know, after every playoff game, after every game Michigan loses, there's always a rumor. And they always want to say, from a very good source, that Jim Harbaugh said himself that he's going to be back. I don't know why y'all keep on getting these rumors out, but they're going to be back. And just like JJ said, we're going to be back. I promise you that. There's no smiles. Because they're a very good team. They beat us. Wow. But they shouldn't have. They shouldn't have. If we're going to be for real, they shouldn't have. They shouldn't have beat us. A couple mistakes on our side. We let them in the game. We gave them 21 points in the first quarter, in the first half. And then we gave up 30 points in the second half. If he would have just held them to 24 points, we could have been winning. We could have went into overtime. Because they had 21 and then 24. Would have been 45-45 overtime. But like I say, give us that Roman Wilson touchdown. And it's 52-45. It would have been the reverse score. We would have won. We would have won. Either way you put it, take away one pick six, we win. Take away 2 pick sixes, we win. Give us the Roman Wilson touchdown, we win. That was the defining moment of the game. Y'all took our momentum away. It was a quick strike. We had the momentum. Why would you take away our touchdown? But it's all good. You know, Michigan teams, living in Michigan, living in Detroit. I have seen a lot of calls not go our way. I have seen a lot of calls not go the Lions' way, even though everybody say the Lions suck, but a lot of calls never go their way. I have seen Michigan multiple times get cheated out of stuff. Nobody never says it. I have seen the Pistons lose on BS calls. I have seen the Tigers. I have seen the Red Wings. Like JJ said, we'll be back. No doubt. We'll be back. Promise you that. Everybody that's talking BS now, they all getting their laughs saying, ha, 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 Michigan, Ohio State, they didn't make it. Michigan thought they was going to go to the national championship. They ruined their chance of going to a national championship, which we did. We ruined our chance. It's disappointing, but we'll be back. Promise you that. Watch this.